Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I have another tutorial by the designer Anna Piskers doing the winter jewelry box set. And this is the beaded hat. And this is for the Facebook page Crochet Along. And so I whipped up this hat using Vanna's Choice, lovely shade of green. And I used a size J hook personally. It's a 6mm hook. It worked just fine for me. I followed the pattern exactly, and it has some lovely texturing just like the cowl. And also at the bottom it has this really cute braid, which you work all the way around, and then got a little button on the end. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's big, it's floppy, and it is so very comfortable. And I love the bead texture and the ribbing. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, this is part of the winter jewelry box set. And about the design, Anna writes, this chunky beanie pattern is perfect for keeping you warm on cold days. Its design is all about texture. I can see that, as you can see too. The combination of bead stitch and camel stitch rounds creates an elegant textured fabric, yet it's deceptively easy to crochet, and that is true. It is quite easy. But above all, the dense stitches of this chunky beanie were designed to keep you super warm. You can wear the beanie on its own or pair it with the matching cowl. And the braid on the brim of the beanie and the faux fur pom add a little something special to this design. Now, I didn't have a fur pom-pom to add to the top, but you can acquire one or you can make one. I mean, have fun with it, by all means. And so the yarn that she used was a chunky yarn. The yarn that I used was, like I said, it was Vanna's Choice, which is a worsted weight, a 4-weight yarn. And she suggests using a size I hook. And of course, you'll need scissors and a yarn needle. And yes, you will need a button for this. That you will need. The pom-pom, you can add one on top. And this is really an overall really fun pattern that I am delighted to be able to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, round 1. Now, like I said, I'm using a size J 6mm hook and worsted weight yarn. Now also in the pattern, which I'm going to give a link in the description box down below, in the link it also goes on to give much more information as far as how you can manipulate this pattern as far as the size is concerned, which I really do appreciate. I think that's a nice touch. So we're going to start with a slip knot and chaining 4 and a slip stitch into the first chain to create a ring. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then go into that first chain with a slip stitch. There we go. And we have our ring right there. All right, now for the first round, we're going to chain 1 and then 6 half double crochets into the ring and then join with a slip stitch. So going into that ring, we have 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. And then going to join with a slip stitch, and let's see. Yep. Just checking my notes here. So just going to join that little slip stitch right there. And you can always pull this end that we have here to cinch up the circle a little bit. Okay, so that is the end of round 1. Round 2. So for round 2, we're going to start by chaining up 1 And into this first stitch right here, going to do 2 half double crochets. We're going to do 2 half doubles into each stitch all the way around for a total of 12 half doubles. So going right in. So that's 1 and 2, and then into the next stitch, 2 half doubles. So that's 3 and 4. Next stitch, 5 and 6. Next stitch, 7 and 8. Next stitch, 9 and 10. Next stitch, 11 and 12. Now, ending this round, we're going to join. We're going to slip stitch into the back loop. Not okay. It's called the third loop. We did this also in the beaded cowl. So it's because there's the front loop and then there's the back loop, but there's sort of the back loop, if you will, the third loop. So turning your work just a little bit and then going into the back loop, the third loop. And so slip stitch into that back loop to finish round 2. Alrighty. All right, round 3. So for this round, we're going to be only working into the third loop all the way in the back. So basically, we have what would be the top V's here. So we're going to work into the back ones back here. Okay. And so we're going to start by chaining up 1 and then into where we slipped right here. Into there, we're going to start by doing a half double. And then into the next, we're going to do 2 half doubles and alternate back and forth, going from 1 to 2. So we got our 1. So into the next one, 2 half doubles, because we need to have our increases. All right, so we got 2 half doubles. Next stitch, 1 half double, and then 2 half doubles. And then 1 half double, and then 2, and by the end of the round, we will have 18 stitches. So I've got 1, and then 2, 1 and 2, and then 1, and then into the next one, 2, and then 1, and then last but not least, 2. There we go. And then going to slip stitch to the third loop of the first half double that we made, which is this one right here. So going into the back, into that third loop, slip stitch, and that is the end of round 3. So we already have sort of a ridged effect going on here. I love the texture, and the neat thing is that it's only on the one side. It's nice and flat on the inside, so it doesn't create a lot of bulk on the inside, which I totally can appreciate. So that being said, that's the end of round 3, and we shall continue on. All right, round 4. Round 4 is very similar, but instead of just doing 1 half double and then your increase, it's 2 half doubles, then your increase. So we're going to start by chaining up 1, and then again, we're working into the third loop, the very back, the third loop only for this round. So I'm going to start by, after chaining up 1, do a half double, and then to the next stitch, a half double, again going into the third loop only in the back, then your increase, so that's 2 half doubles, 1 and 2. Now, how I like to remember this is we just did a technically we did 4 half doubles, and this is round 4. Makes it easy to remember when you're increasing this way, because we did 1 when we started, another regular 1, and then 3, 4 in the same stitch. So, and the next one is just 1 half double, then another half double, and then 2 half doubles, which makes 3 and 4. 3 and 4. And 1 and 2, 3 and 4 together in the next one. 3 and 4. One and 2, and then 3 and 4 in the next one. And then 1, and then 2, 3 and 4 in the next one. Always working in that third loop. Otherwise, you won't end up with this really cool ridge going on here. So that's 1 and 2. And then into that last one, 3 and 4. Okay, and then to finish the round, again, slip stitching into that third loop in the back to finish the round. Ta-da! And that's the end of round 4. Alrighty. Alright, round 5. Now, correction at the end of round 4, instead of slip stitching to the back third loop, go underneath both loops right here, because we're going to be doing the bead stitches now on round 5. So slip stitch right like that, and then we can get right in. So I'm going to chain up 1, and into this first stitch, half double crochet, and we're going to make ourselves a bead stitch. So yarn over, and then go around, well, going in between the chaining and the post, and pull up a loop. So now I've got 3 loops, okay? And there's a hint to go around the base chain as well in order to create a neater bead. Me personally, I like doing this way just fine. It's just my personal thing, but you can take the hint as well. So after having 3, go in again and pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull up another loop. So you should have 7 loops on your hook, and then you pull through all 7 to create your bead, like so. Ta-da! And then skipping the next chain, because we just went into this one here. So skip the next chain, going into the one after for another bead. So we got your half double crochet, yarning over, going underneath, pulling up a loop, yarn over, going underneath, pulling up a loop. And so we've got 5, got to do it one more time for 7 loops, and then pull through all 7. And it helps if you go a little bit loose, because getting through 7 stitches, 7 loops, it can be a little bit tricky, as you can see. But, if you go a little bit loose, and if you're patient, you can do it. I'm going to do it again. So yarning over, and going underneath the post, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then go through all 7. And you got your bead. Skip the next stitch, going to the next for another half double crochet, and then we got to create the bead. So yarning over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop, and then pull through all 7 loops for another bead. And so what you're going to do is you're going to keep doing these beads all the way around. Just be sure that you're not stitching into the stitch that you just did, okay? And you're going to skip that next one and then go into the one right after, okay? And just keep doing that. So it's not this stitch because we just went into there. Skip that one, going to the next one with a half double, yarn over around the post, pulling up a loop, yarning over and pulling up a loop, yarning over and pulling up a loop. Pull through all 7, got another bead. And so I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round and we will continue on. All right, so I'm almost done with round 5, but you know I like to touch base with you. I'm almost done. I just need to do one more bead. Again, not going into the one that I just went in, skipping one and going into the next with a half double. And we're going to work our bead. So yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling up a loop, pulling up a loop, and then pulling through all 7, and then join by slip stitching into that first half double that we created right there. And voila, we have it. And that is the end of round 5. Now, keep in mind also that this is not going to be completely flat right now, okay? It is going to have a bit of a domed surface area to it, so do not fret if it's, if it's looking like a cup. Do not dismay, all right? That's how it's supposed to look, okay? All right, so we shall keep on with round 6. Alrighty, round 6. So, I'm going to go back to doing some half doubles. So I'm going to start by chaining up 1 and into this first stitch. Now keep in mind that with the beads, each bead is the equivalent to 2 stitches up on top. All right, so that way our count is still the same. So after chaining up 1, going into this first stitch with a half double. Okay. And then a half double into the next 2 stitches for a total of 3 half doubles, then we increase. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. And we're not going into the 3rd loop here. We're going underneath both loops for this round. There we go. So that's 3. Okay, and this is our chaining up of 1, so that doesn't count. So we've got 3, and then the next 2 are in the same stitch. So 4 and 5 are in the same stitch. That's 4 and 5. Okay, so then again, 3 half doubles, 1 in each. 1 and 2. And 3, 4 and 5 in the next stitch. 4 and 5. One and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 in the next stitch. 4 and 5. Okay, and 3 regular ones, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in the next. 3 regular ones. It's 1, 2, and Also, be careful that you don't get your hook caught on these loops. You know, I do that upon occasion. So that's 3, 4, and 5 in the next. And then 3 regulars. 1, 2, oops, 3, and we've almost reached the end. 4 and 5 go into this one right here. And then going to slip stitch into the back third loop right back here. Because it's not this one, it's not this one, it's the one in the back, that third loop, like so. So slip stitch right in there. And there you go, that's the end of round 6. All right. Also, if you're finding that it is too domed, too cup shape, if you will, you may need to go up a bigger size hook. I mean, I'm already using a size J, but this, to me, this worked out just fine for me, okay? So I'm gonna keep on going with round 7. All right, round 7. So round 7 is pretty much, you know, just like round 6. Gonna start by chaining up 1 and into that same back loop right here, that third loop, do a half double. And 3 more half doubles in the next 3 stitches, and then the increase. The last one, it was a total of 3 half doubles, then the increase. This one's 4 half doubles, then the increase. So we've got 1. And, oh, sorry, my yarn split on me. There we go. And 2. And I'm working in the back third loop. Keep that in mind. So that's 3. And 4. Then 2 in the same stitch. So that's 5 and 6. 4 regular ones. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 5 and 6 are together in the next back loop. So that's 5 and 6. Okay, 4 more regular ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are in the next stitch. 5 and 6. And so then just keep on going in this exact same fashion. 4 regular half doubles, then 2 in the same stitch. And then when you reach the end of the round, do a slip stitch to that back third loop, okay? And I will meet back up with you for round 8. Alrighty, round 8. So again, for this round, we're going to be working in the back loops only. It's going to be another increase round. I'm going to start by chaining up 1 and do 5 half double crochets, then the increase. So it's going to be a total of 7. So again, working in the back loop, the third loop, mind you, third loop. So half double. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. 6 and 7 go into the same stitch. 6 and 7. Okay, then 5 regular ones going into that third loop. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. 6 and 7 go into that next stitch. 6 and 7. There we go. So you're going to keep doing that for the entire round. 5 regular half doubles, and then an increase of 2 into the same stitch. And then when you reach the very beginning, slip stitch a normal slip stitch under the 2 loops. Not going into that third loop in the back, just go underneath the 2 loops as you would normally do a slip stitch, and then I will meet back up with you for round 9. Alrighty, round 9 is actually the same as round 5. We're going to do some more beads. So I'm going to start by chaining up 1, half double crochet into that same stitch, and then yarning over, and we're going to go around the post. Helps if you sort of split these apart just a little bit, and then pull up a loop, and I split my yarn again. I'm so good at that. You know, we all have our talents. Me, I'm good at splitting my yarn. All right, so yarning over, going in, and pulling up a loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop, and then pull through all 7 for our first bead. Then skipping that stitch, going into the next one for another bead, so half double crochet. And also, it's a lot easier after the first one because you don't have the chaining up of 1. So again, yarning over, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull up a loop. Then pull through all 7. And we're going to do this for the entire round. So again, skipping that stitch, going to the next, half double, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop, and then pull through all 7 loops on your hook. And of course I did it a little too tight. All right, and there we go. So then when you reach the end of this round, do a slip stitch into the top of that first half double, like so. Slip stitch into there, and I will meet back up with you for round 10. Alrighty, round 10. Now for round 9, just keep in mind that after finishing round 9, you should have a total of 21 of these bead stitches, and then you'll be on the right track. So to start with round 10, I'm going to start by chaining up 1, and into the first 6 stitches, do a half double crochet, and then 7 and 8 get an increase. Okay, so going right in. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then in the next one, 7 and 8 together in that same stitch, like so. And then do another 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. And then into the next one, 7 and 8. All right, so keep going on in the same exact fashion. Do 6 regular half double crochets and then increase in the next one for 7 and 8. And then when you reach the beginning of the round, slip stitch into that back third loop right in the back. Okay, and I will meet back up with you for round 11. All right, round 11. So we've got another increase round working in the back third loop again. So start by chaining up 1 and do a half double into that same stitch. And now for round 11, we're going to be working a total of 7 half doubles and then the increase. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then the next stitch will get 2 stitches. So that's 8 and 9 into that next stitch. That's 8 and 9. Then another 7. Regular half doubles. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then 8 and 9 are in that next stitch. 8 and 9. All right, so keep on going in that same fashion. 7 regular half double crochets into that back third loop, and then your increase of 2. So that's 7, and then 8, 9 in that last stitch. And then after you work all the way around for round 11, then do a slip stitch into that third loop in the back, right back there. All right. And so I'll meet back up with you for round 12. Okay. All right, round 12. So round 12, it's another increase round. So I'm going to start by chaining up 1. And again, we're working into that third loop in the back. So half double crochet. And we need for round 12 a total of 8 half doubles and then the increase. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. And then in the next stitch, 9 and 10, because we need our increase. So 9 and 10 in that same stitch. And then we're going to keep on doing the same thing. So it's another 8 regular half doubles. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then in the next stitch, 9 and 10 together. 9 and 10. And then so keep going on in the same fashion. 8 regular half double crochets and then an increase of 9 and 10 in that next stitch. And then when you have gone all the way around, do a slip stitch into that first half double, going through both loops for a regular slip stitch join. And then in the next one, we're going to do some beads again. All right, so I'll meet back up with you for round 13. All right. Alrighty, round 13. All right, so this is going to be a bead round stitch. Bead stitch round. Strike that, reverse it. All right, so going to start with a chaining up of 1 and a half double into that first stitch. And so again, we're going to yarn over, going around that post. And I didn't quite make it. There we go. Helps if you, like I said, it helps if you sort of separate it a little bit. So going in and pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, and pulling up a loop. And then pull through all 7. And this yarn loves to split on me, but you know what? I love this yarn. I love Vanna's Choice, I do, but sometimes it does have a tendency of splitting. At any rate. So then going into, not this next one, but again, skipping that one, going into the next with another half double so we can do another bead. And yeah, the first one's always tricky, but so then yarning over and pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, and pulling up a loop, and then pull through all 7. And so we're going to do this just like we have previously, all the way around. Just going to do bead stitches, and by the end of round 13, you should have a total of 30 bead stitches. Indeed. And got it. And so I'm going to keep on going with this round, doing my bead stitches, and when you've reached the end, do a regular slip stitch join. All right, so got my 7, yep, okay. And then pull through all 7, boom. All right, so then when you reach the end of the round, after doing all of your bead stitches, go into that top of your first half double crochet and do a slip stitch through those both top loops. All right, so I will meet back up with you when I'm done with round 13, and we shall continue on to, well, round 14. Okay. Alrighty, round 14. So we have another increase round. So again, going to be chaining up 1 and into that first stitch, half double crochet, and 8 more for a total of 9 regular half doubles, and then 10 and 11 will be in the stitch thereafter. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then into the next one goes 10 and 11, like so. All right, so another 9 regular half doubles, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then in the next stitch goes 10 and 11. And so you're going to work in that same fashion for the rest of the round. 9 regular half doubles, and then 10 and 11 go in the one thereafter. And then when you reach the beginning, do a slip stitch in the back third chain where we first started. Alrighty, so I'll meet back up with you when I finish the round, and we will continue on. Alrighty, so I finished round 14, and I think it's looking pretty sweet, don't you? So listen, I'm going to end this video here, and we're going to keep on keeping on. So please do stay tuned for part 2 of this Crochet Along series. And, I hope you're enjoying it. And if you are, please give a little thumbs up button down below to show your support, because as always, I appreciate your appreciation. And also, please check out all the goodies and links in the description box down below. And of course, I will be putting timestamps as well for your convenience. And, please hit subscribe, because I do try to post as often as I can, whether it's knitting, crocheting, audiobook narration, or please do visit my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, for video game playthrough, commentary, and lots of fun. And so until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.